Hi and welcome to Music-Prof. In this video we're going to have a look at guitar power chords. Now you will hear some people talk about power chords as though there's only one type of power chord. Now that's completely wrong. There are several types of power chords, and what we're going to look at today is what we call root and fifth power chords. Strictly speaking, we're not actually playing a chord because we're only playing two notes. In the old days, it was accepted that a chord could have two notes, but the modern thinking is that you need three notes to make a chord, and this is why a simple chord is sometimes called a triad. In each case here, we're going to be playing the root note of the scale and the fifth note in the scale, but you don't actually need to know what the fifth note in the scale is. You just need to know where it is on the fretboard in relation to the root note. So, first of all, let's have a look at this note here on the 5th fret on the low E string. What I want you to do first is to play that note using your first finger. And just in case there's any confusion as to which one that is, it's the one next to your thumb. Okay, so that's the root note. And the fifth note, which we're going to use with it, is here. The root note that we're playing in this case is an A note. Now, as I've already said, you don't really need to know what the fifth note is, but just in case you were wondering, it's an E note. Now, there's two ways to play the E note. There's the way that most people do it, and there's the way that I do it. Now, you can do whichever you find easiest. Most people play it with the third finger, but I have trouble with that, so I tend to use my fourth finger or little finger. But try it both ways, see which you find easiest. Okay, so let's zoom in on that so we can see it more clearly. Now, in this first demonstration, I'm going to use 4 different pairs of notes. Now, the spacings between the notes, that is their relative positions to each other, stay exactly the same. Okay, so this is the first pair. Now, when I move on to the second pair here, you'll see that I'm moving on to the 4th and 5th strings, but the relative positions between the two notes stays the same, so you still play it with the same 2 fingers. For this third pair, we're going to keep the same fret, but move the notes across back onto the 5th and 6th strings. The last pair is slightly different because now we've got an open string on the bottom E string, and we're just playing one note on the 2nd fret on the 5th string. Okay, so now let's go back to the first pair. Okay, so this is where the fun starts. I'm going to play the notes so that you can hear what they sound like while you watch it through on the graphics. So, here we go. So, that's what it sounds like with just the guitar. If you want to hear what it sounds like with, say, drums and bass added, it sounds like this. Okay, one more time, I think. Okay, so this is where you get to have a go. I'm going to put the backing on just with the bass and drums, and I'll give you a counting of 4 and then see if you can play what I was playing. If you can't remember exactly where those pairs of notes are, then just recap on the bit that we've done so far before you move on to this next piece. I'm going to put the backing on 3 times, one after the other, with a counting each time, so that you don't have to keep winding the video back to try it a few times. Okay, so if you're ready, here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four. So, did you notice this was part 1? In part 2, which is a separate video, we have a further 2 exercises for you which take the style a little bit further on. I suggest that before you move on to video 2, you go through this enough times to feel really comfortable with the fingering and changing between the pairs of notes. Once you can do that, then you're ready to try part 2. As I said at the beginning, there is more than one type of power chord, and we are producing videos now for other types and also for palm damping with power chords, which is a style that you'll hear all the time in modern rock and metal. There will also be a video showing you how to get started writing your own tracks using power chords, so watch out for that one as well. So that's it for this video. Keep checking the website to see what's available, and we hope to see you again very soon in part 2. So thanks for looking in and have fun with your guitar playing.